Hello and welcome back to Reprieve Media CIC on this World Radio Day, radio and sport. What we've got coming up for you now is an interview with a local fundraiser by the name of Daniel Selcraig. He's coming up now. We should have him with the miracles of technology on the line now. Daniel, are you there?
Yeah, good evening, Paul.
Ah, superb. It's always good when the technology works in our favour. Welcome to the show, Daniel. So if you could quickly just tell us a bit, if you could, of the surroundings regarding your decision to raise this fund.
Well, it was just after Christmas. I was just scrolling through my phone on Facebook, and tragically I saw that my local hospice, which is Thorpe Road, which is run by Sue Ryder, on Christmas Day had a donation tin stolen off reception. The doors were left open so a family could visit a dying relative, and someone's took advantage of that and disgracefully stolen which kind, honest-hearted people had donated money to a really good charity.
Yeah, I saw that myself, the donation tin being unfortunately stolen at Sue Ryder. Very unfortunate event, I'm sure everyone will agree. So these events, as you say, you sound like an experienced fundraiser. So what other fundraising have you done in your life so far?
When I was at college, we walked the Pennine Way, which is over 200 miles from Derbyshire up to the border of Scotland. We did that for the Help for Heroes charity. We raised several £1,000s for them. But once I'd read this story about this donation tin being stolen, I just couldn't get it out of my mind, and I just had to do something for them to try and recover some of the money.
So obviously you're well inclined to start raising charitable donations like that. So congratulations for that, and thank you for that. All the great work you've done, and the money you raised really does go to great causes. So basically what we're going to do now is we're going to talk a bit about the surroundings of the actual Sue Ryder event. What was your thinking around that time?
So when I heard, obviously, about the tragic event that happened, I took a couple of days to register, and then I thought, I need to do something for them. I want to get some money back to the charity. For some strange reason, I ended up thinking of doing a skydive, and that evening I decided, to set up Just Giving page, and within 24, 48 hours, I'd had over £200 on it already. Friends and family really got behind me and thought, it was a cracking idea. Local media helped as well. I had an interview on BBC Radio Cambridgeshire. And, even companies like yourself, have been really helpful to me getting the story out there and giving me some media coverage.
I also understand you've had a fair bit of help from the local professional football team, Peterborough United.
So Peterborough United have been brilliant. They've let us put some donation buckets, on all the food outlets. And just want to say a big thank you to all the Peterborough United fans for putting money in nearly every game. I've not worked out how much Peterborough United fans, themselves have donated towards it, but the vast majority of the donations is from posh fans. So I'd just like to say a massive thank you to them. The club have been absolutely fantastic and really supportive.
And I also understand that there is a reason we're talking about Peterborough United here, and that is in fact that you are the head groundsman at Peterborough United, I understand.
Yeah, so I look after the pitch at the ABAC Stadium, or London Road as the posh fans know it. Yes, that's my responsibility to keep it in tip-top condition throughout the season.
Oh, brilliant. How long have you done that for?
I've been at the stadium now 3 years. I started off down the training ground, looking after the facilities down there on Oundle Road. Then I moved up to the stadium soon after, and have looked after the pitch ever since.
And as well as how brilliant they've been regarding assisting you with this event so far, they also do a lot of other work with other charities, don't they?
Oh, it's brilliant. Every game, every home match, there's always a different charity at the stadium. Bucket collections. The club really support the Free Kicks Foundation. So the game before last, the Posh changed their home kit from the Mick George logo to the Free Kicks charity logo, and the shirts have been auctioned off, and they've raised over £4,500 for the Free Kicks charity, which gives youngsters the chance to be mascots, who come from an unprivileged background, which is fantastic to see, especially working on a match day, being on the pitch, to see the youngsters enjoying what's such a memorable day out. The club are fantastic at supporting charities.
I was always wondering, really, for my sins, I've followed Pasha for a few years, on and off mainly in the last few years, but I've always wondered, I've always looked at the state of the pitch in certain seasons gone by and thought towards the end of the season it looked more tired in relation to other teams in the league. But in the last 4 or 5 years it does look, from an outside perspective, mainly watching it on the telly, I must admit, that it looks much better. Why do you think that is? What is the club doing so different?
Obviously advances in technology. We know a lot more, as stupid as it sounds, about grass these days. Back in the day, it was chuck sand on it, roll the sand in. Nowadays, that's a big no-no. The club invested heavily a number of years ago on new drainage. So the pitch is a completely different construction to what it was, which obviously helps massively. It's, just about being a groundsman, just about doing the right things at the right time. The weather recently has been really wet, but over the last couple of years, it's been pretty good to us, which does help. I mean, it's not nice having games being played when it's absolutely chucking it down with rain, or it's been frosty and you have to scrape ice off the pitch. But
it's quite an open old ground, London Road. It can be quite difficult to maintain in the winter, can't it?
No, the wind does swirl around in there. I mean, last season I was, before I think it was the Scunthorpe game, I was in most of the night forking water away off the pitch, and it's quite an eerie place at night time when you're in there by yourself. But no, luckily this season, the weather up to now has not been too bad. Quite wet, but I think the pitch has held up brilliantly.
Yeah, and especially in modern era, you could say, there's pressure as well from external sources really as well. Some people might say that pop concerts might not be conducive to having a best possible surface for the team to play on. A lot of fans, have made this point to me, the concerts, must be an absolute nightmare. But I completely understand why the club do it. I mean, football now is very, commercialised. Clubs need to make as much revenue throughout the course of the year, not just the season. The stadium costs a lot to run. You can't just play, your 20 odd games there. You need to keep using it. So the concerts, as far as I'm concerned, are a great thing. The Elton John concert last year, it did cause a bit of damage to the pitch, but I did manage to rectify that. As fans can see now, the pitch isn't too much further behind than what it was last season, which is phenomenal. No, credit where it's due. The pitch is looking great. Everybody there, in yourself mainly, and everybody else around your team, is doing a great job with the pitch, and that can't be questioned really, especially when people look at how it used to be. We're going to have a little break now. One thing I do like to do, Daniel, is allow my guest to pick a quick musical interlude to allow us both to get our breath back. So, Daniel, what track would you like to hear today?
Please, could I have Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, What a Life?
Well, I don't see why not.
Some
Hello and welcome back to Reprieve Media CIC for our coverage of World Radio Day, Sport and Radio. We should still have Daniel Selcraig on the line. Daniel, are you still there, sir?
Yeah, good evening, Paul. Still here.
Jolly good. The mystery, the wonders of modern technology again come to our favour. So, Daniel, we've talked a bit about your career already with Peterborough United and the fundraising events that you've done throughout your life. If you don't mind now, I'd like to ask you a few questions about this current event, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. You touched on earlier the motivation behind the event and what the event was itself. In case you didn't hear that, it's a skydive in aid of Sue Ryder, Thorpe Road Hospice, after their donation box was unfortunately stolen over the Christmas period. So, Daniel, where and when can people see you throw yourself out of a plane voluntarily?
So the skydive will be taking place on Monday the 7th of May. It's going to be at Sibson Airfield in Peterborough. You know, a lot of my family and friends are going to come down and watch me. But yeah, I'm going to be getting it filmed and pictures taken as well. So there will be content posted after the skydive online for anyone who wants to watch me jump out of the plane.
Yeah, I mean, I must commend you again on the bravery. I, for one, I can't think of any situation where I would do that. So all credit to you. You've already said that the campaign is up and running and has been for quite a while. So where can people support you currently?
People can support us by they can go on my Just Giving page, which is www.justgiving.com/Sue Ryder Skydive 2018. Any people who go to the Posh home games, there's always Sue Ryder donation buckets on all of the food kiosks around the stadium, or you can put money in an envelope with my name on, Daniel Selcraig, and hand it into main reception at the football club. And all the money raised will be going onto my Just Giving page, so everyone can see, you know, where the money's going, and it will also give me a grand total at the end. Just so I can add, I've personally paid for the skydive, so every penny raised will go to Sue Ryder, because I paid for the jump. So no money's going to be going from the fundraising to pay for the skydive. That's already been paid completely. So yeah, I'd just like to thank anyone who has already donated. And if there is anyone out there that could help me, I'd much appreciate it.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. And yes, I would certainly encourage everybody to donate to such a great cause. I also understand, obviously, times are hard for people. We all know that. We're not here to talk about that today. So you've come up with a couple of what I think is very ingenious ways of encouraging people to donate to your campaign. Would you like to tell us about them, please?
Yeah, sure. So over the next couple of weeks, couple of months, been speaking to my pals at the club. Marcus Madison's going to donate a pair of his boots and he's going to sign them for us. We're going to get some signed shirts out there. And just as a personal thank you, anyone who donates online will be entered into a draw to win a complete year of free garden upkeep. So it involves grass cutting, absolutely anything in your garden you want doing. I'll personally look after your garden for a year for absolute nothing, as a personal thank you to everyone who's helped support me. There are a few terms and conditions to that. Obviously, if you've got a golf course, I won't be looking after it. And also, you know, people who have donated more will be entered into the draw more times than obviously someone who's only donated a couple of pound. But obviously all the terms and conditions and that are on the Just Giving page.
Great gesture. I have to say, that's very good. So hopefully that will certainly encourage people to donate more money. As you know, obviously with modern fundraising as well, it's not just the actual day of the event where the money is raised, it's the build-up. It reaches the crescendo with the final event. So obviously people will want to keep up with your progress up to now until May. So where can people follow you if they'd like to do that on social media?
Yeah, it's obviously been fundraising now since the start of January. I wanted to start early, so it gave me as much time as possible to raise as much money as I could. People can follow the progress if they go onto the Just Giving page. Again, it's www.justgiving.com/Sue Ryder Skydive 2018. They can follow all the updates on there. They can also follow my Facebook page, Daniel Selcraig, and I'm also on Instagram at Daniel Selcraig, and on Twitter at Posh Car Share. All updates across all the platforms. I update them with any big news that I think people would be interested in. But yeah, mostly the Just Giving page, is the one that gets the most updates.
Yeah, and I can see from myself on social media that there's definitely a lot going on there. So I would encourage everyone to follow as well. I know personally you've been surprised really with the amount of support you've had and just how this campaign seems to be resonating with people.
People have been brilliant. Even like yourself, Paul, having me on the show, being able to get the story out there is fantastic. BBC Radio Cambridgeshire had me on their breakfast show back in January. I'd also like to thank magazine, which is the free magazine in Peterborough. A big thank you to Mark Hernandez, who's wrote a brilliant article in there about the skydive and what we're hoping to do. I'd like to as well just say a massive thank you, to over 50 people who have donated. I'm now over £900, which is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, it's a big thank you to anyone who has donated. And yeah, it's just a shout out to all my family and friends who have supported me and who'll be there on the day to support me too. And if anyone who is listening can help me, then I'd really appreciate your support.
Yeah, and I'm sure it will continue all the way up to May as well. So Daniel, may I also just take this opportunity to wish you good luck with the event and the preparation as well. And I hope it all goes well for you.
Thank you ever so much, Paul. Really appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, we'll obviously keep an eye on your social media channel ourselves to keep any updates. There's also the article on our news outlet, Essential Reading, regarding this as well. That's been updated, and that will be updated to reflect any further offers that sort of encourage people to donate as well, up to from now into May as well. So that will be, I imagine that will be circulating throughout the time as well. Personally, I can't see, Daniel, why we can't hook up again maybe towards the end of April, just so I can gauge your nerves, really.
Yeah, no worries. Hopefully I won't have the shakes.
I'm sure you'll be fine on the day, and I'm sure that everything will go brilliantly. And more importantly, you'll raise a great amount for Sue Ryder. And thank you very much for this event and for all the ones in the past, and I'm sure ones in the future. And may I take this opportunity to wish you good luck again. And thank you very much for coming on today, and goodbye.
Thank you, Paul.
That was a local Peterborough fundraiser, Daniel Selcraig. And I don't know, I need a break after that to get some breath back. And then we'll crack on with our coverage of Radio Day here on Reprieve Media CIC. So stay tuned. But first, we'll have the odd musical interlude.